Chapter 3 summary. In this chapter, she discusses the mindset and how that affects your school achievement. So, first off, she talks about fixed minded students versus growth minded students. In middle school, she mentioned that the 2 years of junior high, their grades will either go up or they will go down based on whether they have fixed or a growth mindset. The fixed-minded students are likely to blame their poor grades on their abilities and not actually anything else. So they'll say things like, I suck at math, play the blame game, and blame their teachers. Whereas growth-minded students, they do whatever it takes to actually learn the material. Even when they're overwhelmed at times, they still put that effort in. And then another thing she discusses in this chapter is the low effort syndrome. So students with fixed mindsets avoid the hard work, try to take the easy way out on schooling and things like that. And then this transitions into college as well. Those fixed-minded students will read the textbooks, class notes, and then try to memorize everything, as opposed to and actually learning the material. Whereas growth-minded students look for themes in their notes and the stuff that they went over, and they'll make sure that they learn the material for the future as opposed to just learning it for the test. Another thing she mentions in this chapter is that students are all created equal. Some students have greater abilities than others to begin, but hard work is one of the things that can equalize that, and having that growth mindset is something that you can do to make yourself on a level playing field. Everyone can do well is another thing that she talks about. If teachers use a growth mindset in their teaching, they can get the most out of students as opposed to labeling kids, which goes into the next part about the danger of labels. So when you praise students based on their ability versus praising them on their effort, that actually damages them because they're afraid of losing that positive praise when they get the praise for being more intellectually smart or whatever it is. And then when they're labeled as not as smart, they're afraid of keeping that negative label. So labeling students at an early age is something that's damaging for them. So one of the quotes that I liked from this chapter was, all students have the potential to learn and grow with the right mindset and right teaching. Students are capable of a lot more than we think. So I think that relates well to the chapter because it goes well with having the growth mindset, and it goes well with not labeling students. I think that a lot of times kids get labeled from the beginning, and then that kind of affects their whole trajectory of where they're going with their career or their academics. So is something that I think is important to avoid when you're a teacher or when you're anything in that sense. So to answer the question, me entering into college, I think I definitely had a fixed mindset. I labeled myself as I was like a good basketball player, and that was kind of my thing, and that's all I really cared about. Kind of didn't even think about school. School was only an outlet to play, and I think that really hurt me off at the beginning because I wasn't really concerned with anything else. But I think I improved that, and I turned myself into more of a growth mindset as the years went on. Realized that it was okay to fail, and that as long as I put in the effort, that I would get better. And I think that's something that I'm a lot better at now. So that's chapter 3.